Alright folks, I'm going to keep this video short. I just saw this on the breaking news. Iran's preparing to launch an attack on Israel, and this is going to be a disaster. Nothing good will ever come out of this. Do you know what's going to happen when the dust settles? Iran's going to acquire nuclear weapons. And do you know how Iran's going to get nuclear weapons? It's very simple. They're going to get it from China. And if you're wondering, so how did China get nuclear weapons? Well, China got their nuclear weapons from the Soviet Union. How did the Soviet Union get their nuclear weapons? Well, it's very simple. There was a KGB spies everywhere, all throughout the United States. So all of the blueprints for America's nuclear arsenal was simply copy and pasted. And how did Pakistan get nuclear weapons? It's very simple. They got it from China. There's a picture up there. That is right before Chairman Mao's death in 1976. This was his final public appearance. And it was during this exchange with the Prime Minister of Pakistan. China gifted 50 kilograms of plutonium to Pakistan in order to kickstart their nuclear weapons program. So why would China give plutonium to Pakistan? It's very simple. China had a war with India in 1962, high up in the Himalayas. That was China's second last foreign conflict. And their next one will come in 1979 with Vietnam. So the war in 1962, China did actually win that war. So it's unbelievable that what transpired on October 7th has lasted all the way to this point. And it's been reported that over 32,000 Palestinians has been killed since Israel's invasion onto the Gaza Strip. I'll make something very clear, okay? I'm politically and religiously non-binary, okay? You want me to condemn Hamas? Sure, okay? But I cannot agree with the viewpoints of Ben Shapiro. Listen, the move by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, the co-founders of the Daily Wire, to fire their host Candace Owens, that was a 100% bitch move. And I really hope Candace will be able to find her own success, and I hope to see her run for the office in the future. So the Jewish political commentator Ben Shapiro, he claims to founded the Daily Wire on the basis of freedom of speech, and he talks about facts over feelings. But every time when it comes to the issue of Israel, he's all about feelings and zero facts, okay? I hope that within the next few months' time that Brett Cooper will also leave the Daily Wire platform. This is the start of their downfall. I hope that Brett will be able to have her own successful career without having to rely on Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring and Caleb Robinson. I want to make something very clear, okay? It's very important. Up to this point, I don't think any of the major news networks have covered this. So why is the United States so pro-Israel? So you guys all saw what happened back in 2021, right? When a single boat got stuck at the Suez Canal, which effectively completely shut down the entire world trade. It's unbelievable how a tiny narrow canal can control so much of the world trade. This is why the canal is so important. This is also why China has been extremely cautious when it comes to Taiwan, because at any time NATO countries can shut down the Malacca Strait right off the South China Sea. And this would effectively completely paralyze the Chinese economy, the second largest economy in the world. There's a solution to the Suez Canal, okay? There could be a second alternative, which could be a complete game changer. And they're not covering this on any of the major news networks. Do you guys know that there's a massive oil field right beside the Gaza Strip? And in order to access this oil field, Israel would have to go through northern Gaza. That's why they've launched the offensive there. The end goal of this offensive is to push everybody out of the strip through the Rafah border crossings all the way into Egypt. Okay, in order for the USA and Israel to utilize this oil field, they will have to clear at least the northern half of the Gaza Strip. And it's not just the oil field, okay? If the USA and Israel can open up this new path here, they can build a brand new canal, which would effectively become a new alternative to the Suez Canal. And this will be a game changer for the world trade. This will give NATO countries the overwhelming advantage. And it's because of situations like these, because of these narrow canals, almost every single country, well, certainly all the major global superpowers, have a military base in Djibouti. It's because, well, it's right beside the Suez Canal. Whoever controls the Suez Canal controls the world trade, okay? And the reason why this offensive onto the Gaza Strip has happened for so long is because that everybody realizes that everything could change with the new Israel canal or whatever you want to call it. This is why the United States will always be pro-Israel, because if China, Iran, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, if they were able to get a firm hold onto this new path, onto the oil field, and if they were able to control a new canal, they will be able to completely paralyze the OECD countries. I will come back to these topics because I just saw this on the breaking news, and I will have to see what unfolds from this point. But just remember that dark days are coming. And I'm sorry to everybody out there that's still supporting Joe Biden and the Democrats. None of this would have happened if Trump was in office. That's just the reality.